Now don't worry, Tiger, I'm not going to tell anybody you're using the Slazenger. What's that? Golf shoes? What do I know about golf shoes? Hi, I'm Paul, and this is The Golf Show. Hi everyone, I'm Paul Hemlin. Welcome to The Golf Show. This week on The Golf Show we're going to talk about golf shoes. And I love golf shoes, so it's something I feel really qualified and passionate to talk about. I really hope you're enjoying watching The Golf Show. As you'll have seen from our last few episodes, we're still in lockdown in the UK, which does restrict the content I can create. So bear with me, hopefully we'll get through this in the next few weeks. But I hope you enjoy this episode about golf shoes, because golf shoes are really important. If you play one round of golf a week, a year, you're going to be walking 250 to 300 miles. So it's really important that you know what you're doing when you're buying golf shoes, what to look for, how long they should last. I'm also keen to look at why do we wear golf shoes? What kind of golf shoes are best for each person that's out there? You know, what's really important about golf shoes and what to avoid? You know, and also, is it possible that a golf shoe could improve your performance or hinder it? Can a golf shoe stop you from getting injured? Could it really help you hit it another 5 yards or so? So I'm really interested to have a look at the performance benefits you get from some golf shoes as well. It's not just a case of picking something that's in the right size and the right colour. So that's enough from me. Let's get on with the golf show. So why do we wear golf shoes? Let's start there. Let's start on page one. Why do we need and why do we wear golf shoes? Is it because we see the pros wearing them on the telly? Is it because they're really comfortable? Is it because they're waterproof? We want to avoid something like this? Or is it just because golf clubs say we have to? Now pretty much all golf clubs have got a dress code, and part of that dress code will be you've got to wear golf shoes on the golf course, so that's fair enough. Okay, and over the last few years all the major brands are making lots of different styles and lots of different designs. So let's have a look and see what kind of golf shoes are out there, what the options are. Now when I started playing golf in the 1980s, golf shoes had a metal spike on the sole, okay, but you very rarely see them now. In fact, I think they're only allowed in major competitions for professionals. Professionals can't even wear them week in, week out. They would give you great grip, but if you walked on a path or something like that, they were really slippy. It was like ice skating, and I don't think they did a lot of good for the course. If you scuffed your foot on the green, it would tear it to pieces. So the most sort of grip you can get out of a golf shoe nowadays is something like that. So these are called soft spikes. Okay, as you can see, these stand out from the sole of the shoe. They are replaceable depending on the brand of shoe you get. They might be in a different pattern. You can see they stand out nearly a centimetre maybe, and these are to give you the most traction whilst you're on the ground. Now a lot of clubhouses don't allow you in with spiked golf shoes because they don't want these to damage the carpet. I'm not really sure they would. They do gather a bit more mud and grass on them when you play, and if you play in frosty conditions like we've got in the UK now, if you're playing now, they do gather sort of blobs of ice and frost on the sole, which you do have to knock off every couple of shots, otherwise you're losing your grip there. Over the last few years, what's getting more common is this kind of trainer style shoe. These have got a rubber sole, pretty good grip on those as you can see, quite a bit of traction. They are heavier than a more traditional trainer. Something like this one would be waterproof. As we've just seen, this one clearly isn't. With these fabric ones, you get them all different colours. Obviously you can put them in the washing machine to give them a clean afterwards. They do come out pretty well. This one's been in a few times. You know, looks really good. Comes out like new. And you've got that kind of sort of rubber sole on there. Again, a bit more solid than a pair of training shoes, and a thicker sole, slightly heavier as well. You've also got these kind of casual shoes. This one feels as light as my trainers. Not quite as much grip as you can see on something like that. Still a bit more grip than perhaps a normal trainer. Really light. Again, something like that, the fabric ones can go in the washing machines. Leather ones there. And these are so you can put them on at home, drive down to the course, play a game of golf. Then you've got these ones that are kind of a bit of a hybrid. They're in between the sort of really formal shoe, the leather, and the trainer style, man-made uppers. Something like that should be pretty waterproof, but they've got more of a moulded sole. So that should give you a bit more grip. Probably wouldn't advise driving in those, but there are brands that make this kind of thing out there, which you could probably wear all year round. So what should you look for in a pair of golf shoes? Well, it comes down to you and where you play. If you play somewhere where it's never going to rain, you probably don't need the really formal, solid shoes. If you play somewhere it's going to get pretty wet, being waterproof is important, grip is important. You've got to think about those kind of things. Do you tend to walk? Do you walk with a bag on your back? That's going to put more wear and tear on the shoes. Or just travel around in buggies? So you've got to figure all that out first. Also, have a think about the courses you play at. Are they going to let you go in if you've got a pair of spiked shoes on? That could be a consideration for some people. I've spoken with a few podiatrists and they all said that a spikeless shoe, so something like one of these, is their preference because your weight can be distributed more evenly throughout the shoe. However, they did say though that a shoe with a spike on it like that is going to give you more traction and less chance of getting injured. Okay, when you're looking at golf shoes, you'll notice that most golf shoes tend to have a fairly low cut heel. Perhaps if you compare that to my trainers, you can see the difference. And the reason for that is to allow that range of movement where you're coming up on your feet. I mean, if you look at someone like Justin Thomas, look at that. I mean, he's pretty much tap dancing there. His feet are almost off the ground, very much like Bubba Watson. So if he had like a boot on or something there, that's going to really hurt his ankle over the course of time. So make sure when you look at your golf shoes, it's nice and low cut there, so your ankle is on top of the shoe. Okay, let's see if there's much of a weight difference between the shoes. So this is probably the lightest shoe I own, a trainer style. That's coming in at just over 300 grams, pretty light, about the same weight as a pair of trainers. Let's go for something a bit more formal, a bit more structured. That's coming in at 600 grams, so nearly twice the weight. So that's just something to bear in mind if you're going to be doing a lot of walking, obviously twice the weight that you're carrying around there. Now a few years ago I was having some trouble with my feet and they were hurting after I was playing golf. So I went to see a podiatrist and they said bring an example of a few different pairs of golf shoes you wear. So I took a pair like this in and they said, but Paul, look, just, you know, look how much you can turn and twist those. They're not giving you any support on the course. Okay, that's not going to do you for any good. Whereas something like this, and yes, I know, what the hell was I thinking when I bought these? But look how stable they are, okay? So maybe if you are getting problems with your feet, you might want to think about a shoe, maybe not in this colour scheme, but you know, a shoe, something like that, that's a bit more structured, a bit more rigid. You know, that sole is not going to flex, and that should give you a bit more protection, a bit more cushioning, a bit more support out on the course. This is the Footjoy Pro Sl. This is one of the best-selling shoes in the market. It's got a soft spike sole, leather upper, good quality, pretty solid shoe. Well, at least I thought it was. But after I got a pair of these and I wore them, and you can clearly see I'm going to rotate my shoes given the number of shoes I've got, I noticed that these little grips started to wear down, and especially on the heel here. The Footjoy say these soles are guaranteed to last for the life of the shoe. Well, I still think there's some life left in that, but that is starting to wear on the heel. Now I don't know if that comes from me maybe driving in them, or at Fulford there's a road that we walk over between two of the holes, but that's wearing down quite a lot. Now you might think I got a bit unlucky there, but I've got 4 pairs of these, and also my son Zach's got a pair of these as well. The Zach's have started to leak, mine haven't leaked yet, but I'm a bit reluctant to wear them if they are going to wear like that. So as you can see, they're all showing the same sort of wear pattern, even on Zach's pair there at the end, all starting to wear down on that heel first. I don't really think that's good enough for a pair of shoes that retails between 125 and 150. So there's so many golf shoes out there, it's a massive industry in its own. The cheapest pair of shoes I've seen is about £10 online. I didn't bother getting them for this review because I just thought they're going to be rubbish. In fact, the delivery charge was as much as the cost of the shoe. But then golf shoes can go up to £300–400. You can get custom options, you can get bespoke options. I've had my initials monogrammed into some of my Footjoy icons as well, and I love all that, that's great. So there's lots of different options out there, but I want to come back to these Footjoy Pro Sls. These are the market leader. Okay, as I said, I'm not happy with the soles. You know, the leather on some of them does wear a little bit as well, but I want to know what you're getting for £125. So I want to have a look inside one of these shoes, okay? Let's go explore the Footjoy XL. Okay, so what exactly do you get for £150 in one of these shoes? Okay, I'm keen to have a look at that, and I've never really seen anybody explain that. So what we're going to do, I've got Andy here to help me. Let's take one of these to pieces. Okay Andy, so what kind of saw is this?
This is a Evolution chop saw.
Yep.
Just bog standard joinery tool.
Cool. Have you ever chopped up any golf shoes before, Andy?
Not recently.
Okay,
no.
Cool.
No, I've kicked a few off into the bin.
Well, let's give it a go.
Right, I see you've cleaned these specially.
Specially for the golf, no expense spared for the golf show.
Right out. And you're insured, aren't you?
We're insured, good luck. On your fingers.
Goodbye, Footjoys.
Plenty of padding.
Plenty of padding. We're halfway through. Let's go that way.
You be careful, mate.
Doesn't seem to like it too well.
I tell you, they're quite well made, aren't they?
I tell you what, they're made to last. Shall we try a different tool?
Sure, let's do that. So whilst Andy changes over the saw, let's have a look at that so far. Can't believe how strong that shoe is. Okay, Andy, so plan B, what have we got here?
We've gone now for the DeWalt 18 volt reciprocating saw.
Okay, and what kind of thing would you use that for normally?
Cutting holes, delicate holes in things.
Okay.
Maybe not golf shoes.
Okay, best of luck.
Yep.
Take care.
It's been nice knowing you.
Can't believe how well made they are.
Unbelievable, Jeff.
What is it, the leather or the sole?
I think it's the leather.
Okay.
Yeah. There we go. How's about that?
Let's have a look at that. And that is the inside of the Footjoy Pro Sl. Really impressed how strong that was, actually.
Yeah, it's that bit of leather around the side. Well, I think some of it's.
Yeah. Put padding in there as well.
Yeah.
Interesting. We'll have a good look at these in a little bit later. Andy, you're an absolute legend. Thank you very much, buddy. Still got all 10 fingers?
Yep.
Spanish hand still intact?
Yep. Should be all right.
It's all good. Cheers, buddy. Now, my dad always told me that shoes and watches, you're paying for what you don't see in terms of quality. So let's see, after Andy's just taken the source of that shoe, what you actually get inside one of these. Okay, now I was quite impressed that the Footjoy did put up a good fight there against Andy's industrial equipment, but obviously the saw won in the end. So you get a pretty decent insole with Footjoy. I've always been impressed with those. Nice contoured insole. They're pretty good. In terms of the shoe, there you go. Plenty of padding in the tongue, as you'd expect. I would have perhaps maybe expected a bit more padding in the sides, maybe. Plenty of cushioning in the heel. I always found these comfortable to wear. They did get a bit cold when it was frosty. There's your soles, there's the old wearing again. But that is what you're getting inside one of these. One area that you don't typically see in a golf shoe review is, would one pair of shoes help you play better over a different pair of shoes? Okay, so here we've got some soft spikes and we've got the more lightweight trainer style here. Now, these must give you a better grip and better traction to the ground. But does that correlate to greater club head speed and greater ball speed and greater distance? So I want to check that out. So my good friend Guy Wills, the head PGA Pro at Fulford Golf Club, is going to hit 3 shots for me in his swing centre. One with a pair of spike golf shoes, one with a pair of these trainer style lightweight shoes, and one barefoot. And we're going to see which goes the furthest, which gives him the greater club head speed. Now I would imagine the spike shoes are going to win. I would then imagine the trainer style shoe would come second, and I would expect somewhere way behind that would be Guy hitting a shoe barefoot. So let's have a look at Guy hitting those shots and then we'll talk about the results.
Okay, so today I'm going to look at reviewing 3 pairs of shoes. One a golf shoe, just to see what the traction's like, a pair of trainers, and then barefoot. So let's start with the one with the spikes in. See how far we can get it. Nice shot, felt good, felt lots of traction. So we got club head speed of 109, total distance 282. Okay, this time around we've got the trainer on, so let's see if that makes any difference to the traction against the ground. So that's going to be slightly less. 108 club head speed, total distance 272. And finally, yes, can't believe Paul's getting me to do this, but we're going to try this one barefooted. Let's see if there's any difference here. Straight away obviously feels very different to me. Wow, that felt straight. Okay, 108 club head speed, 272 again, so not a big drop off from the trainer to the barefoot, but a difference from having the golf shoes on, definitely.
Wow, 3 great shots from Guy there, and he assures me they were all done in one take. Well, he's a PGA Pro, so I believe him. Okay, so he got 282 with a club head speed of 109 with the spike shoes. With the trainer style shoe, he got 272, so he's dropped down 10 yards and the club head speed was 1 mile an hour less. But what was really interesting there was Guy going barefoot gave him the same results as a pair of these trainer style shoes. So that's something to think about. On the Golf Show social media, I put a poll out to see how many pairs of golf shoes people own. I appreciate I've got quite a few here. And the average number is between 3 and 4. There was still, a decent percentage that only had 1 pair of shoes, and there's others that have got 8 or 9. Okay, they can last for a long time, but you've got to know when to replace them as well. Some of these should have perhaps seen the bin a long time ago. I'm quite lucky, I'll rotate my shoes, they should last that little bit longer. It's important to know though when to say goodbye and when to throw your shoes away. You're not going to get that cushioning and that support that you are going to need. I've done the 4 rounds in a day charity challenge twice, and I changed my shoes and my socks for every round, and I got through that pretty much without any blisters. Whereas some of the guys that wore the same shoes for all 4 rounds, their feet were in a terrible state by the end of that. So it's really important that you are getting rid of your shoes when they're at the end of their usable life. They say that golf shoes should last between 3 and 5 years, but obviously that depends on how much you wear them, if they're getting soaked all the time, if you put some shoe trees in them, and if you're looking after them after the game. If you're going to play twice a week, you could be walking 500 or 600 miles a year in a pair of golf shoes. Runners are advised to throw their trainers away every 400 miles. So you need to think about rotating your shoes, not wearing the same shoe all the time, and when it does come time to say goodbye to a shoe, let it go. So in conclusion, what do I think? Well, I don't think there's a perfect pair of golf shoes out there. It depends on you, what you want from them, your style of golf, and also importantly, where you're going to play most of your golf. For week in, week out play in the UK, I'm going to want something that's waterproof, fairly robust, that's going to give me plenty of support, and I think I'm going to move away from the trainer style golf shoe for most of the year and go back to those soft spikes just to give me that bit more grip. And as we saw in Guy's video, it's going to hopefully give me a bit more distance as well. But when it's nice and sunny, or if I'm on holiday or playing abroad, something like the trainer style shoe is perfect. But do watch out for those. They do get dirty quicker, they do get dustier, they get the sand in from the bunkers. So you're going to want something that can go in a washing machine so you can give it a wash and it starts looking pristine again. Okay, golf shoes are going to wear out, they're not going to last forever, they're not repairable like a normal pair of shoes, so just bear that in mind. You pays your money, you takes your choice, and as I said earlier, when it comes to golf shoes, you're almost paying for what you can't see. Okay, so just in time for this episode, Adidas released their new ZG21 spiked golf shoe. Adidas say this is the lightest ever spiked golf shoe that they've made. They say it gives you better performance and better traction than the current Adidas Tour 360 XT shoe, which was their most popular shoe that you'll see Dustin Johnson and those kind of guys wearing on tour. So it's quite a big statement. The shoes come in 3 colours, all black, acid yellow with a grey oxide, and these are the grey with the blue 5 colouring scheme. Okay, they also come in 2 different fits. They come in a standard and a wide fit. I actually ordered these, and I ordered the wide fit by accident. I'm a size 9 UK. I'm a standard fit in Footjoys. I do find Nike's a little bit sort of pinching in around there. I accidentally ordered the wide fit and it fits perfectly, so watch out for that if you are going to order some of these. They also come with the BOA mechanism as well as a lace-up option. I've gone for the lace-up here. Obviously the BOA is where you tighten it and you don't have any laces. Adidas have used a microfiber leather for the upper. It's a hybrid multi-fiber construction of the shoe. Adidas say that 20% of the pieces made in this upper come from 50% of recycled materials. 10% of the materials in this upper come from recycled materials. Well done, Adidas. They also come with a 1-year waterproof warranty. Adidas say these shoes are built for comfort, durability and stability, and look at that, for a lightweight shoe, hardly any twist on there. My podiatrist would love that. They've used a new technology for the foam, which is 40% lighter than traditional EVA foam. So let's weigh this now and see what it comes in at. Okay, so the Footjoy that was more like a trainer came in at 300 grams and the Icon came in at 600. That is coming in at 400 grams, which is lightweight for such a stable and solid shoe. These offer superior shock absorption, and that's largely due to what Adidas call the bottom unit. So I've incorrectly been referring to that as a sole for the last 48 years of my life. But there we go, the bottom unit, it's got 6 spikes and it's got these anti-clogging lugs, which as you can see are quite wide apart. So Adidas say you shouldn't get too much dirt building up in between these. Adidas also say this sole is the best design they've ever made, so it won't scuff greens and it won't damage greens. So these aren't particularly cheap. They're about 140, 150 pounds. They're at the premium end of the market. You do get a spare pair of laces, so these came with a pair of dark grey laces, which will look smart with them. You don't get a tool or any spare spikes, which I think would have been helpful. So when they do come to need renewing, I'm going to need to pop in the pro shop. So overall, I think they're a really good looking, sporty shoe. I really like the stability you're getting there and the shock absorption you're going to get from that in such a lightweight shoe. As I said earlier in this episode, I am keen to go back to a spike shoe, so these kind of tick all the boxes so far. So I'm looking forward to wearing these out on the course. I really hope you enjoyed that episode of The Golf Show. I'm hoping it's not our last ever episode, and no, it's not because the Bond people have finally called, although I am still available. It's because when my wife sees how many pairs of golf shoes I own, I'm in big trouble. So I really hope you enjoyed that episode. If you did, please hit the subscribe button, it really helps me out. Okay, that's enough from me, Paul. See you next week, hopefully, on The Golf Show.